Welcome to Sports Geek Q&A. Here's your host, Sean Callanan.
Yes, I'm Sean Callanan from Sports Geek, and this is another Q&A. Remember, you can get your questions in via multiple methods. Social media, at Sean Callanan on most platforms. You can use email, sean@sportsgeekhq.com, or you can contact me in the Sports Geek Nation Slack. Don't forget, you can support our podcasting and newsletter efforts via Patreon, sportsgeekhq.com/Patreon. First question comes in from a former Sports Geek podcast guest, and I'm sure he will come back for another episode, Shane Harmon, CEO of Westpac Stadium. But if you're listening to this in 2020, it will be known as Sky Stadium. Congratulations on the naming rights there, Shane. His question is, should there be more emphasis from sports on email marketing at the expense of social media, given the decline in organic reach and risk associated with not owning those platforms? To me, this is a big yes, yes, yes. I think we need the Daniel Bryant gif, if you're a WWE fan, of the yes chant. If you're building something on someone else's land, there's always rent to pay, which is, what we are doing on these social media platforms. I'm not saying we want or have to abandon the platforms, but we do want to make sure that we can start talking to the fans on platforms that we own. And that's where getting fan data from social and into your own CRM, and that's multiple pieces of data, whether it's email and or mobile, because it's becoming more and more the platform of choice. What can we get when we send an SMS? So developing that email strategy, but also that data capture strategy is super vital. And having multiple methods to do it, I think, is vital as well, because the 25 words or less competition is only going to work for so far. So it is a mix of how do we make sure that our ticketing data gets captured and how we start communicating with them. And I think then the next piece becomes the different avenues you start talking to people. I think one of the common mistakes is you get someone on a list and then boom, you try to sell them a membership or a ticketing package when they've just potentially gone to one game. So getting the personalization, which is available now in different CRMs, and if you're a big team and you're using different CRM technology, you have that option. But if you're a small team, a grassroots team, you can do these kind of things in tools like we use Drip. MailChimp has now got a lot of really good personalization automation options. An email strategy is vital, because if you do talk to a lot of the people that do sell a lot of tickets in the leagues, people are still buying tickets via email. If they get the right offer, they will buy it via that. So I think it is a mix of that. I mean, I'm not getting into how to sell tickets, but I think it is smart to be able to start getting more of that data out of the systems, because you don't know when the tap will be turned off. And like Shane said, the organic reach will fall to zero, and you have to start again. So anything you have in your own CRM database gives you an advantage. My second question comes from Michael. I met Michael at the Swinburne Student Life Awards, where I was MC. I went back to Swinburne, where I went to university, and was MC for the Student Life Awards. And he just asked for general advice for graduates entering the workforce. And so for me, the main point that I made, and it was really great to see the student community that was getting awards in this night around volunteering and working in clubs and working in sports around the university. I pretty much shared a little bit of my story that your career is not a straight line, and it's part of the reason why I ask in the regular Sports Geek podcast interviews is how do people get their start, and then you can start figuring out how they got to where they got to. So a career, in my case, it's definitely not a straight line, and I don't think careers are going to be straight lines anymore. Careers were straight lines in the 60s and 70s. But now people are changing jobs more often, changing roles more often, changing industries more often. So in my case, started off as a computer programmer, then went to running application development and test teams and startups in the space, to sports marketing and digital marketing, which is a big change. And now in the world of esports. So don't think a career is a straight line. And then the other part is, and I really owe a lot to impro, which is yes-anding, looking at different opportunities, whether they be inside your industry or inside your field, or outside, and yes-anding them, taking those opportunities and giving back more, giving, the theoretical 110%, but you actually don't know what will come from that. You might be working in one place and it might actually be the volunteer role you're doing at your local cricket club or local basketball club or your local college or charity that actually gives you the next, either the experience or the next opportunity or the next networking opportunity that gets you to the next role. So, you must keep your head on a swivel, I guess, and keep an eye out for those opportunities, because I think the blinkered view of this is what I'm going to do for the next 15 years is not going to apply. I don't think it's applied over the last 15 years, and I definitely don't think it's going to apply going forward. My next question comes from Rachel via email, and I like this one. It's a bit off center. It doesn't have to be everything about sports and technology, but it is one that I do love. What is your most rewatchable sports movie? I think Rachel must be one of the people that listens to the Rewatchables. The guys at The Ringer do a really good podcast where they recap and dive back into different movies, not just sports ones. For me, I've got a question. Can I have a question back to the question? Is Fletch a sports movie? Fletch is my favourite movie of all time. Chevy Chase, 1983 or 84, I think. I'd like to qualify it as a sports movie. It does have Chick Hearn, legendary Lakers announcer, in it, and visions of Magic Johnson and the like, as Fletch is a big Laker fan, and references to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the like. So that's what I would say. If I can classify Fletch as a sports movie, I would say Fletch, because it is one of my favourite movies all time. If I can't classify Fletch as a sports movie, and please let me know, send me a tweet. Can we classify Fletch as a sports movie? But if we can't, I would have to say Hoosiers. As a young basketballer growing up, I think myself and my brother watched Hoosiers more than enough times, and I think we were reciting lines of the movie at many games. And I think it was actually funny. We went to the Sydney Olympics. My brother and I went to watch the US game and then the Australian game, and we're sitting there watching the US game. And actually, a couple of boys from Indiana had come over to Sydney to watch the game, and they didn't believe that these Aussie guys had watched a movie like Hoosiers. And then my brother's got a better memory than I. Literally just started reciting the movie line by line. So it was good fun to then we hung out for the next couple of hours in between the games with beers with those guys from Indiana, and then went and watched one of the most memorable games with Australia playing Russia and nearly beating Russia in Olympic competition. So with the likes of Andrew Gaze and Mark Breakey and Luke Longley and the like playing for the Boomers in Sydney 2000. So so I'd say Hoosiers if I have to pick a specific sports movie, but yeah, I'd like to think Fletch is a sports movie. So thanks again for your questions. Thanks very much, Shane, Harmon, Michael, Rachel. Remember, you can send them in on any of my social channels or send me an email, sean@sportsgeekhq.com. As always, I'd love your support on Patreon. Simply go to sportsgeekhq.com/Patreon to pledge your monthly support. It's very much appreciated and helps us keep putting out podcasts like this one. Until next episode, my name is Sean Callanan, and you've been listening to Sports Geek.
You can reach Sean Callanan via email at sean@sportsgeekhq.com. Find out more about Sports Geek's Digital to Dollars process at digitaltodollars.com.
Go to sportsgeekhq.com for more sports digital marketing resources.